Hey guys, it's Danny. Today I'm gonna take you on a journey. As I told you in one of my previous videos a while ago at this point, I do need to clean up a little bit this room, dust the shelves, take my orchids for a shower because they're dusty as well. So I thought I will take you along in showing you the process and show you how I like to do things and, just the steps that I take to make sure my orchids are as safe as possible, because in a home, in normal home conditions, showering them and messing around with water is risky. It's not like nature. We're gonna address that, don't worry. But yeah, it can be really risky. You can expose your orchids to crown rot or stem rot, which is worse. So we need to take a few measures. We need to know a few things. Many of you have asked me along the years how and why and when I shower my orchids. So I'm gonna go through the process, all of it today. I'm also gonna show you. And I hope this, in the end, will make sure that you keep your orchid collection intact and you don't lose them due to, stuff that sometimes maybe, they're inevitable in home conditions. So the subject today will be this beautiful Vanda Peaches, which is in full bloom right now. Almost, she's starting to lose some of the blooms, but she really, really needs a shower and a watering. Why not? We'll take this opportunity to water everybody and some cleaning up. You'll see what I mean. So let's move to the table because I don't like how this light looks on camera. All right, here we are. Isn't she lovely? I will have to say this is one of my most favorite orchids. She's so beautiful. That's why I chose her for this beautiful decorative pot. If you missed the video in which I repotted it and I present this pot, I will link you to it down below. She's also fragrant, and because of my environment, she's the closest to Neophonetia orchids that I can grow because, it is actually a cross between the former Neophonetias and Vandas. It used to be called Ascophynedia peaches, but anyway, besides the point. So, why do we need or should we shower and clean up a little bit our orchids? Well, pretty self-explanatory. With time, dust will accumulate on the leaves and they will impair a little bit the light quantity these orchids received. Maybe if dust sometimes go on the underside of the leaf, it can interfere with breathing. Typically, the underside of the leaf is pretty safe, but in this case, hopefully you can see some of the leaves are twisted. It's just a feature, let's say, of this orchid. Neophonetias have these slender leaves. Sometimes they twist a little bit depending where the light source is coming from. It's absolutely normal to have a bit of a twisty nature to it. So sometimes dust can accumulate on the undersides as well, and it's not a good idea to just rub it with a piece of paper because we might clog these stomatas, which are the breathing mechanism of orchids and plants in general. So just showering them with water makes sure that the dust is removed, but we're not necessarily rubbing anything, so the stomatas don't get as clogged as if we were to just rub it with a piece of paper or a cloth. So why did I say at the beginning that this is a risky process, especially for home growers? Because yes, these orchids, even though this is a hybrid, but thinking about the species, in nature it rains all the time, nobody wipes the water, nobody takes care of anything. Well, yeah, but nature, Mother Nature is different. We cannot compete with it. These orchids have a very specific environment in nature. They grow in very specific ways. For example, a phalaenopsis, we usually grow it upright, like this Vanda, while naturally it would grow slanted, very slanted, like this. So water naturally, falls off the leaves and that helps evaporation. So not the case with this one necessarily, but some orchids do have an adapted way of growing, which doesn't look good in our homes. So we kind of try to, quote unquote, force them to grow how we want them to grow. And others simply rely on the fact that in nature we always have winds, we always have fresh air, things that in our living room maybe we cannot provide. Yes, I do have this particular room in which I can play with the AC and with the fan and so on, but I don't necessarily live or sleep here. But if you keep your orchid in your bedroom or your living room, pretty easy to tell. You cannot really maintain fans working all the time there. It's annoying, right? Bottom line, our alien environments, our homes, are not particularly 100% perfect for our orchids. So we need to intervene and we need to change a few things here and there and make sure that we avoid certain outcomes that happen in our homes but don't necessarily happen in nature. And whenever we play around with water in the orchids' crowns and everything, the fact that we don't have enough ventilation and fresh air means accumulation or potential accumulation of bacteria and microbes, which stay there way too long and start to affect the orchids, leading to rotting and all sorts of other issues. So that's one thing that we absolutely need to keep in mind whenever we shower orchids. But at the end of the day, there are some things that we can do to prevent issues. And those are the things that I'm going to show you today. Alright, so the first thing that we should do is try to clean up a little bit the orchid if it has dried leaves or dried flowers or things of the sorts. I will be taking this orchid to my tub, and even though I will use a net or a filter, you know, some of these things can clog stuff. So let's not go there. Let's not clog the plumbing of our homes if we can take a moment to just clean up the orchid a little bit. I don't have dried leaves or anything. Just had a few dried flowers. I got rid of them. Nothing should fall off of my orchid other than, you know, the pieces of bark, but I need to be careful with that. So in this regard, pretty lucky with this particular orchid. She's pretty clean. Do I have? Yeah, I have another one here. Next, what I like to do is check for mealybugs. If you know my videos lately, you know I have a bit of an infestation of mealybugs, and this is a great opportunity to get the orchids and check them individually and try to remove any mealybug that I see. The way that I will do that is with a Q-tip and alcohol, and I actually see one right here. I'll give you a close-up. All right, do we see the little bugger? He's right here. Now, I want to remove this guy before we go in the shower because water alone doesn't do anything, especially for mealybugs and scale. They are related since they have a waxy protective layer that simply repels water. So if you have a lot of water pressure on your shower head, you could dislodge some of these guys, obviously, and that's good, but they tend to be quite sticky and quite stuck on the orchids. So the best thing to do is to use, in my opinion, alcohol. So I'm going to use some alcohol and a Q-tip because this is a surfactant, and not only does it not form tension like water does, but it also dissolves a little bit that waxy coating, so we go directly to the bug. Right, so with the Q-tip, I'm just gonna go and take all of this white fluff that I see. This could be a bug, this could be multiple bugs, it could be a nest. So the best thing to do is to remove all of the fluff that you see. So I'm gonna look closely. Usually when you have flower spikes, you can find them in the flowers or flower spikes. And the most you can take off, the better. But you can also look under or in between crevices, or rather in between the leaves, in the crevices is what I meant. So they do like to hide a little bit sometimes. So just inspect the orchid, and I would suggest you remove mealybugs and scale if you see them. Other things, like if you have a few thrips, which I hope you don't, or a few spider mites, no need to remove those first. Usually with the jet of water, you will wash quite a lot of them off. They do need special treatment, I would say, but with a shower, you can maintain the population low. I find that with mealybugs is not the case because they're just so sticky. And yeah, I'm just gonna look around my orchid a little bit and see if I see anything else, if I missed anything. I don't think so. If I would have a super heavy infestation, what I would do is cut away the flower spikes. Sadly, yeah, I might just sacrifice the flowering for the season because, yeah, I really want to be on top of the mealybugs. So if you have a super serious infestation, rather than going and spraying alcohol everywhere, which would damage the flowers, especially if you don't have thick flowered orchids, rather than doing that, just cut the flower spikes, treat the orchid, and yeah, you're gonna have an easier life afterwards. You can rebloom the orchid next season, but yeah, as painful as it is to give up flower spikes, that's what I would do. I would just not bother with it. I don't have the patience for that. So I'm gonna give it a little look-see, and then we're gonna go to the tub. Okay, so here we are in the bathroom. Excuse the echo. I will try to do something in editing about it, but I will use, obviously, cold water and simply just shower the orchid on, I hope you can see a medium like jet. If you make the shower way too strong, there is a chance you will dislodge the bark or the medium and everything will fall, and that's not nice. Also, you might hurt the orchid herself if you have a rather sensitive orchid. This is not a very sensitive orchid, but there is absolutely no point in just using high pressure. This is all I want. To be fair, this is actually a pressure limiting shower, so I don't have pressure here on the shower quite at all. The tub though is full pressure. Shower doesn't necessarily need to be pressured. We're saving water. But there we go. You can go, you know, from the side and under the leaves just to make sure you're getting the dust. And that's about it. Each orchid can take more or less, you know, I really properly showered this one because this orchid really absolutely needed a water as well. So because of that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave it in the tub just to soak a little bit. If you see, this pot does have a dish and water collects there. I want the medium, or rather the sphagnum moss in this pot to absorb that water, and then I'm gonna take it back in the room and make sure I dry it. Another thing that I like to do with the orchids that let me do this is do this business. I want to eliminate the big drops. The big drops dry the slowest. So while I'm here, I'm just gonna tap a little bit on the leaves. If I have a sensitive orchid, obviously I'm not gonna do that, but this is not sensitive. Not even the flowers, they're not very sensitive. Water on the flowers doesn't bother me. Yes, water droplets can create botrytis or make the flowers just drop faster, but I don't really care. At this point, you can wait for the flowers to be done before you shower your orchid, but just patting a little bit the orchid gets rid of droplets which would otherwise maybe fall down into the crowns. So before they have a chance to do that, I like to tap it so that the droplets just fall in the tub. Right, so I'm gonna leave it for 5-10 minutes just to absorb that water in the dish, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Now for our final trick, we are going to use a fan. Now, yes, if it's warm outside, if you leave your windows open and you have a draft, theoretically, the water should dry fast enough. But can I guarantee it? Absolutely not. So if we can intervene and make the water dry faster, why wouldn't we? And the simplest way to make sure that the excess water dries faster is with the use of a fan, which I have to the side here. Oops, sorry. I just have this fan in the orchid room. Now, we don't need to put the fan like right here. We just need to create movement close to the orchid. So right now my fan is around 1 meter away from the orchid. It also has an oscillator, so I can actually dry multiple orchids, which is what I will do. This is just, you know, for this video, but I will go ahead and shower multiple orchids, and either I will bring them back here, either I'll put them in a separate room because I need to dust the shelves as well. They're so dusty. But I'm just gonna show you how strong the fan should be. Depending on the settings of your fan, you can use the first or second setting. This is my fourth. Hold on. Okay, this is setting number 1. This is, I hope you saw earlier, my orchid was kind of just moving a little too much, jiggling too much. This is setting number 1 for me. And do you notice we have very slight movement in the leaves? This is what we want. You don't need to create the storm of the century around your orchid. It is efficient, yes, but it's unnecessary. Some orchids are sensitive, maybe they're a little top heavy, and the draft might make them fall and you're gonna break something. My orchid is in a clay pot, so she's not in danger of falling, but you get the idea. We don't want to damage the orchid, we just want gentle breeze around the orchid so that the water is encouraged to evaporate. You don't even hear the fan. You might hear the AC, which is running because it's summer, but the fan itself is like 30-40 centimeters away from the camera, or rather from my microphone. You do not hear it. So this is enough. This gentle movement is what we need. And how long will it take for the water to evaporate? Really depends. You can check back in an hour or 2. The more you leave it on, the better. You can leave it on all day, all night, 24 hours, 48 hours if you're not really sure. if you don't have enough ventilation in your home as it is, you can always run a fan. You can take breaks, obviously, in the daytime, in the nighttime, when theoretically temperatures drop or humidity can increase. It's important to run a fan. So I will leave this fan on indefinitely. I'll come back and see. I'm gonna go do some other chores at the moment, but I will leave this orchid be. Gentle breeze doesn't harm anything. It actually helps with respiration, and it obviously helps with water evaporation, and as long as the orchid doesn't break any leaves in the process, we are good. So this is what you want on your orchid. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope this helps you out. I know every time I talk about showering orchids, people have a lot of questions and concerns. So this is how I do it. Will I guarantee 100% that all of the orchids will be okay no matter what with these steps? No, that's the thing. You cannot guarantee it. It is what it is. It happens based on your home environment. Maybe the orchids are sensitive. So sadly, yeah, you cannot guarantee that nobody will have any issues. That's why I tend to shower orchids once a year, not more often, unless, you know, the orchids get super dirty for whatever reason. I don't do it more than once a year. If I can skip a year, I will do so. I will do so. So if you don't have to shower your orchids frequently, just don't. Absolutely don't, because there's always that tiny bit of risk, no matter how many precautions you take. But I do think that all of the precautions that I told you about today and the process should keep 99% of your orchid collection safe. So yeah, because the alternative would be just to get a brush and do this on all of the leaves. It's gonna take an eternity, because also you need to kind of disinfect or at least clean in a way or another the brush in between orchids, because you can pass on not only pathogens but also pests. Rather pests more than anything. Fungal spores and so on as well, but less common. So yeah, that's not a solution. Showering, I find to be the most common, the easiest solution, even with the risk associated to it. But anyway, enough blabbing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me today, and I will see you soon with another orchid video. Bye!